Jean's not here, so when she watches this later, I'm gonna tell secrets now. Whoa! Yeah. Oh,
I heard you.
You did?
I did.
Oh my gosh. You guys are the cutest. Tell me a little bit about you guys and what you love the most about what you do.
Well, before we tell us about
Anything.
us, Kristi, you are a rock star, and we're so grateful that you're giving us this time.
Thank you.
Alison and I co-created a website called insidwink.com.
Yeah, Inside Wink. I saw that.
And when we were sitting with the web designer, they said, give us a few websites that you are inspired by. And I said, gratefulness.org. I love that website.
We're so impressed by you and by Brother David and by your website. We can't wait for your book. We're just so happy to meet you. Hold on, I'm moving closer.
Well, you guys are the nicest people ever.
Did you want to discuss your process of writing the book?
Oh my gosh.
Or not?
No. It was so hard for me. I was writing the book while my mother was dying and working a full-time job.
Oh, wow.
So writing the book challenged everything about grateful living that I could possibly want to have challenged, especially while my mom was dying, and retelling my story about cancer and surviving cancer is in the book, and the power of going through that experience gratefully. What did it mean to really wake up to the preciousness of every day? For me to get to write a book about all of that while going through grief and my mother's dying was amazing. To reconcile that made me more grateful for every day. It made it be something that I learned from all the time. Can I do this? Yes. And sometimes you have to do things in life that are not easy. It's a marathon. It's giving birth to a baby. It's doing the thing that is more difficult, the thing you think you cannot do. Doing something every day you're scared of, doing something every day you have doubt about. And you go through that and you become a different you. You become a bigger you, a deeper you. So for me, writing this book was an extraordinary opportunity and an extraordinary privilege and an extraordinary challenge.
Yeah.
Do you have a like a spiritual practice that you adhere to help you through this through times of challenge, or?
My practice is grateful living. And it's literally in every single moment. What the book is about and what I really believe and what grateful living is about on so many levels is that life is really this extraordinary gift. To be alive is an extraordinary gift. And then when we forget that, it makes everything so much more difficult. It's easy to go into complaint. It's easy to go into scarcity. It's easy to go into begrudging things. And so for me, every single moment is an opportunity to remember that life is really precious and that this moment is the opportunity to be fully alive. And so typically gratitude is thought about as it's transactional. You get something, somebody gives you something, you have an experience. It's like, oh, I got what I wanted. Well, what if life is what we learn to want? And the very fact of being alive is enough. I want everyone's life to be a gift. So it's a spiritual practice to live gratefully, and it's a moment-to-moment practice. It's not necessarily a 15-minute thing that you sit down on a cushion and do. It's in every single moment. And life is really hard, and it's really hard right now. And I think one of the things that I try to model and try to say to people is it's being grateful in the midst of the messiness of life and the difficulties of life. That's really the measure of, I think, the tenacity of our practice. So to have a really strong grateful living practice is to be able to find and re-anchor and reorient to gratefulness in the middle of life's difficulties. And so I think being depressed about the state of the world sometimes is wholly appropriate. It's WHOLLY and HOLY. It's wholly appropriate. It's, and so I think there's sometimes those places where we want to say, oh, well, I don't feel grateful enough because I'm really struggling with sadness, or I don't feel grateful enough because I'm really upset right now, or I don't feel grateful enough. And what we would say is gratefulness has to be big enough to hold the great fullness of life. The great fullness of life. Everything has to be able to belong inside gratefulness, and then you can always find it, so that it's there even in the midst of feeling sad, even in the midst of feeling unhappy about the way that things are going in the world or in your own life. It's possible to actually be able to hold that place of both and. The both and place, which is the paradox of, wow, this is really, really hard time in my life and I'm still really grateful.
I only know you through your stunning words, and as we know, words have power, but you are really a force for good in this world. And
thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm really honored deeply by both of you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Be well. Be well.
Bye,
Bye.
Kristi.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.